So the next episode, I think the main things, Bill Burr is back,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
yeah,
We obviously saw him in season one, and I like the fact that these season one characters are returning, and sort of tying the first season to the second one, because obviously we see the assassin come back in this season, and then obviously now we have Bill Burr.
mm,
So I like that they're not always making new characters. They're trying to weave in some of the old characters, and hopefully we'll see characters like Cobb Vanth come back. The guy who had Boba's armor at the start in the very first episode.
yeah.
Hopefully we'll see him come back, maybe season three or something like that. But yeah, so in this episode, Bill Burr is back. And what did you think of Bill Burr's performance as Mayfield? I think his character's called the Imperial Sharpshooter, former Imperial Sharpshooter.
No, yeah, I think he's quite good, and you can see his comedic um, history coming through on his character. He's quite a
Mm.
funny character. He adds quite a lot of comic relief in it. But at the same time, he also plays a really serious role. And in particular, when he's sitting down having drinks with the Imperial officer, who, if
Mm.
you don't know, also appeared in Kingsman: The Secret Service. Might be where you saw him from. He was the
Ah.
evil guy on the train track. Um, yeah, that's him. Anyway,
Mm.
Bill Burr, you could really see his emotions coming through in his character there, and I just think he did a fantastic job. And the first thing I did when I saw that is I went on Instagram and a Mandalorian chapter 15, I think this was. Trailer popped up and everyone was in the comments, saying how good Bill Burr is, and I think he was just great in this episode.
Mm.
The first season he didn't really stand out for me, but this episode in particular, I think he did a fantastic job with what he was given.
Yeah, for sure. And his character was given a bit more depth as well, because we learned that his family was, I think they were killed by the Empire, it seems, that they were
Yeah,
hinting at. And then that sort of allowed him to sort of, portray those emotions. And I think he did a really, really good job. So in the in the first season, I was sort of like, well, it's Bill Burr, famous comedian. You're taking me out of Star Wars. You're taking me out of the universe. That
mm,
it's like that's not a Star Wars character. That's Bill Burr.
yeah,
Whereas in this, I was like, that's just a guy who's living in the Star Wars world, who's had some bad things happen to him. Like, I believe that
yeah,
now.
yeah. It's a lot more believable.
Mm. I loved the fight choreography again when Mando was fighting those pirates.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, but I thought that was exceptional. Really awesome fight choreography, like fists and spears and all hand to hand stuff.
No, yeah,
But I really liked it.
I have to agree with you there. I think that was quite well done. And I just thought to myself, how many of these pirates are there? They just seem to keep
Oh,
on
they just
coming.
keep coming, and they
Um,
just take like they don't come at once as well. They go like one after the other.
yeah, yeah, right. And yeah, one comes and then there's like a explosion, and then like five of them come through the explosion all of a sudden. Yeah.
Crazy. So the most controversial part about this episode, and I imagine it's going to explode the Star Wars fandom to some extent, because people aren't going to like some things that happen in this episode. And well, a thing I'll say, and that's Mando taking his helmet off.
Look, if people are getting angry about that, then uh, nothing is going to please Star Wars fans because at some point the actor has to get some appreciation for his role. And I also think that they tied in it quite well into the episode. I mean, he had to get the Star Wars, the Imperial plans through facial recognition, and they pulled it off well. And at the same time, they also gave Pedro Pascal some appreciation for his role. Um,
Mm.
and look, if imagine you're an actor, right, and you had and people didn't know who the hell you were because you're playing a character that has a mask on almost 99% of the time. I think at some points, you would say, "Hey, hold up, I want to have some appreciation for my role and have people know who I am, who's playing the character." And it's the same sort of deal with Spider-Man. Should Spider-Man be taking off his mask? No. Does he do it anyway? Yes. So
Mm.
that's a little
Yeah,
rant.
yeah, yeah. I know. I definitely. agree. To like, I almost forget sometimes that Pedro Pascal is under the mask, and because most of the time he probably isn't. Like most of the time, it's a stunt double.
Yeah.
Um, and doesn't you don't really need a Hollywood actor to do head movements to convey certain emotions. Like anybody can sort of do that. But yeah, I don't know. It's like they ran into this obstacle when making the whole this is the way, I'll never remove my mask, making that a major plot point of Mando's backstory is that he's never supposed to remove the mask, and if he does, he can't put it back on. Whereas he removes it here and then he puts it back on, and I get that that it's worked into the plot because there are more important things, and everyone's just trying to do their best. And sometimes, I mean, all of the Mandalorians are dead. It seems like he sort of has lost his tribe. He's sort of only got Baby Yoda now, so his morals have changed.
Hmm.
So I liked how they did it. But like, I don't know if you tell me in the first season that Mando's not going to remove his helmet for anyone, and then the next season he removes his helmet, it's like, okay, you better explain that well. And I think they explain it, but I feel like people are going to be a bit angry. And in respect of Pedro Pascal, like I do think he has a right to say I would like to remove my helmet more. But if your character is a Mandalorian and they're not supposed to remove their helmets, then maybe you just signed up for the wrong job, mate. Like he's a voice actor, so we hear his voice constantly, and I don't know why we don't see him with his helmet off when he's alone more often. Like I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's complicated because I really enjoyed when he did take his helmet off.
Hmm.
I thought that actually getting to see Pedro Pascal act was quite good because obviously he's one of the best Disney Star Wars characters to date. To actually like see the person and see him act,
See,
it's good.
it's funny you say that, right? Because you have a problem with him taking his helmet off because it breaks the tradition that the Mandalorian has set up, right? But at the same time, you also say that his performance was great. So is this more like a personal thing that's sort of irking you, or is it like a
Well, yeah,
because
I don't know.
because you
It's
can
sort of
never seem to please Star Wars fans, right? They're always going to get
yeah.
angry at something,
Mm.
and this happened in season one as well. And I don't remember, but I don't think people were too annoyed with that.
Well, it's because the thing with the Mandalorians is that you're not allowed to show your face to any other living thing, and he showed his face to a robot. So he wasn't a living. It wasn't a living thing, so he didn't break his code. Whereas here, he just out and out breaks his code. Um, and so, for people who really got invested in the Mandalorian way, this is the way. I'm a Mandalorian, and you're not going to remove my helmet, like as long as I'm alive. And then to just take it off in the second film, like I get there are high stakes here, and I get he's sort of changing, um, but it's either like one or the other. Like can he remove his helmet or can he not? I feel like if
But it was
they
explained well, right? It was
yeah, no, it
explained
was
that
explained well. But I feel
he
like
didn't want to take it off, but he was in a situation. He
mm,
was put in a situation that risked, his child. So it also adds to the storyline. It adds to
yeah,
that he has like a deep care for Grogu, and
mm,
and I think people just pass over that. They always, consider, um, it's he took off his helmet. He's breaking the code, but he took off his helmet to save Grogu essentially. And
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like that
yeah.
just goes over a lot of people's heads because they're like, oh, he's a Mandalorian. He shouldn't be doing that. But in reality, he didn't want to take it off, but he was put in a situation where he had to take it off.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it's definitely there was a lot of really good character development leading up to that. Obviously, the conversation in the car or whatever with
Mm.
Bill Burr, basically telling him, we've all got codes and rules that we need to break to survive and everything. So, I can see, they tried to, soften the blow.
Hmm.
But I feel like it would have been better if just in season one they just said like, you can remove your helmet if you want, but we advise you don't, or something like that. Just because now I feel like he's not a Mandalorian. He's just, it's been taken out. That the thing that made his character unique was the fact that he always has to have his helmet on.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, yeah, as you said, like I enjoyed when he did take his helmet off, and it's sort of sucks that we can't see him take his helmet off more. But they've, if you make the rules, John Favreau, you have to stick to them to a certain extent, So
Yeah, I gotta respectfully disagree with you there, but I think
but like, why would you like have a character that can't? Why would you say like this is a character who his main thing is he's a Mandalorian, so he has to keep his helmet on, and then in the second season, know that he's going to take his helmet off. Like I know it's for a good reason,
yeah,
but like I
well,
don't know. Like, I
yeah,
feel like there are other options in that scenario as well. Like how about you just grab another helmet from a how about Bill Burr's character just grab another stormtrooper helmet or something?
yeah, but it's the facial recognition. They needed a face to scan.
Yeah, but they wanted to get past the guard, so Bill Burr puts a helmet on, goes past the guard, and then takes it off.
But
And
you could see the Imperial Guard was looking at him from his table. He
yeah,
could have
yeah,
seen Bill Burr from his angle,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the reason that I have to disagree with you is that yeah, the code is to keep the helmet on, but at the same time, there is going to be parts in the film in the series rather where Pedro Pascal wants to have recognition for his role, and he has to take his helmet off to do that. And I think I think John Favreau knows that he is in a way breaking his code that he set up, but
Mm,
he covered it well, and he covered it so it ties into the story.
yeah,
Um,
I agree. I agree.
and you could see that his character had a really hard time taking off his helmet. And even his character being in Imperial clothes, he didn't want to do that either, because I think one of the lines in the episode was, "Is it you can't show your face, or you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to
They were
wear the
trying to
helmet?"
break it down. You can tell in that conversation there, it was like John Favreau was like trying to tell the viewer what the code is or
Yeah,
isn't, and what was the code in the end. So maybe I've misinterpreted it. Like, is it you can't show your face, or you have to have your helmet on,
I
or
don't know. I honestly don't know.
yeah?
Yeah,
I mean, either way, I feel like it was significant that he took it off, obviously, and
yeah,
but then he puts it back on. So Mandalorian, like he still considers himself a Mandalorian. And look, that's fine. I don't think his character's like a fraud, a Mandalorian now or anything.
hmm
But he has broken the code,
yeah.
hasn't he?
I
Yeah.
I just think that people hark on about him taking off his helmet a lot, and then they should really just appreciate the show for what it is. And this isn't a personal dig at you whatsoever, but it's in reality it's a small thing when you look at the extent of the show, and I think they should appreciate the show for them bringing in these characters, making a cool storyline, having Star Wars fan service, cool scoring by Ludwig Göransson, having
Mm,
Boba Fett's back, appreciate that cool stuff, and then
yeah.
a small thing comes along with the Mandalorian taking off his helmet, and Star Wars fans just absolutely erupt at this tiny
Yes.
little thing. It
Yeah.
annoys me in a way, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to go on about it too much.
Yeah, fair enough. And we've seen like, and maybe this was intentional, but there's been there's been four Mandalorians who have taken their helmet off this season, and
Yeah,
Boba Fett's gone, "Whoa, you've taken your helmet off,"
yeah,
and he's like, I think he realizes the fact that when you take your helmet off, you don't like immediately die or something.
mm,
Like he was like, got this sort of, his character is like, how dare you take your helmet off, and then they take their helmet off and he realizes that they're just normal people and they don't mean disrespect to the code or anything like that. And
yeah.
so, you can definitely tell that, they were sort of planning towards this. And I think now that he has taken his helmet off, I feel like maybe maybe as we progress into the third season, there's going to be some more character of, maybe I don't know, maybe I don't deserve to wear the helmet or something, or I think he's going to end up taking it off more. Do you think that's a reasonable prediction?
Either Pedro
Just for
Pascal
Pedro
is going to
Pascal.
leave the show and the Mandalorian is going to die somehow. They'll kill him off earlier, rather
Well, no,
kind
if
of.
he leaves, they'll just recast him. He's the most easily recastable role ever, I think. Like,
Yeah,
you just get
well,
a
either
yeah.
recast him or he's going to leave the show, or they'll bring in another character from the Star Wars universe. You know, either Ezra Bridger or Cal Kestis, or even have Boba Fett in the show. That's also thrown around.
Mm,
You know, Boba Fett isn't getting his own show, so he's probably going to take over this one because in
yeah,
reality
yeah.
he is a Mandalorian. So
Mm,
the
yeah,
show
that could
is
work.
called The Mandalorian. Um,
That could
I
work.
wouldn't mind that either. I quite like Din Djarin's character, so it'd be cool
Mm.
to have him around. Um, but if Pedro Pascal is having issues with, um,
Oh, he is. He
yeah,
definitely is.
it's been
He
brought
came
up
out.
in Star Wars
Yeah.
production that he's having an issue with not being able to have recognition for his role. So in the future he might leave the show and they might recast him. And I'm not sure how they're going to do that because I think his voice is quite iconic as well because we've only ever
Mm,
heard his voice really.
yeah.
So I think they might go the route with having Boba Fett as this new main character and Din Djarin somehow dying off or leaving the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So quickly moving forward, do you want to give us some of your predictions for that final episode? I feel like it's going to be a good one. There's going to be a lot of duels and there's going to be
Yeah.
some major battles going down. What are your predictions for any characters we might see return or any sort of events that might take place? What do you think is going to happen to Grogu, etc.?
Okay. I definitely think we're going to get Ahsoka in the final episode. And I'm only saying that because they have announced the Ahsoka TV show now. So they're probably not going to bring her back in any more of the Mandalorian episodes because she has her own show now. So they're probably going to give her a final send off in the Mandalorian, just one send off until we see her in her actual show. So she's
Mm,
probably going to appear in the next episode somehow. I'm not quite sure how they're going to tie her in. I would really like to see either Cal Kestis, who comes from Jedi Fallen Order, EA's game. I'd like to have him come in to teach Grogu. I think that could be kind of cool. Or either Ezra Bridger to come in and teach Grogu, which I think also could be really cool. Either one of them I think would work well. I do think we're going to see a duel take place on Moff Gideon's cruiser or whatever it is, Imperial
mm,
cruiser, which I think could be quite cool. And we still haven't heard a lot from what is it? Um, the spear that the Mandalorian was given. I can't remember the Beskar spear. That's what it is.
yeah, yeah,
Um, it's quite obvious that that's been set up to a duel with the dark saber because we have learned that lightsabers cannot pass through Beskar. We saw that with Din Djarin's armor, which is made of
yeah,
Beskar, and then also with the spear when Ahsoka was fighting that
yeah. That lady,
that lady back on chapter
beautiful
13.
lady. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been set up. So we're going to see a duel between Din Djarin and Moff Gideon. That's like 100%. There's no doubt about it.
Mm,
And I think Baby Yoda, if they're going to do something big, I think that they're going to turn him to the dark side or they're going to send him off the show somehow.
can you imagine?
And and I know a lot of fans probably aren't going to be happy with that, but I can definitely see them sending him off the show for a bit to train with this Jedi who we don't actually know of yet. So I
Mm,
think that might end up being explained further on in next season. Probably about halfway through, we'll see Baby Yoda come back with this Jedi, and then for the start of that season, we'll just have our usual crew: Boba Fett, the Mandalorian, um, and all of those other people.
mm,
The sheriff and I can't remember the other guy's name, but it's not coming to mind now. But
yeah,
we'll,
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
have all our regulars in season 3, and then I think Baby Yoda is gonna come back as this trained Jedi, and I'm really hoping that we get to see some of Baby Yoda's uh, past from when he was taken from the Jedi Temple. That would
Mm.
just be so cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm definitely predicting a duel. I know there's going to be a fight, like a sort of like a Star Wars duel between Mando and Moff Gideon. That's definitely going down. With the dark saber and the Beskar spear.
yeah,
I I don't think. I mean, as much as I'd like to see Ahsoka again, I would be well on board for that. I feel like, she's a bit too far gone now. I mean, she could appear out of nowhere. That would be awesome, but I don't know. I don't think it would really make sense. But yeah, I don't think we'll see Bo-Katan as well. I think she's gone now. I don't think there's a chance of her coming back. That would be cool though, because obviously she wants the dark saber.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a possibility that that coincidence Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian are trying to get the dark saber at the same time, or trying to kill Moff Gideon at the same time, or whatever. So definitely interesting. Now I'm looking forward to seeing more Boba Fett in action,
Hmm.
especially now he's got his armor repainted. It looks awesome. Um, but yeah, as far as predictions go, I don't really know as to what's going to happen with Grogu. Um, who's going to train him? I'd love to see Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker. That would be awesome,
Hmm.
but probably unlikely.
Yeah.
Especially considering we haven't heard any rumors. I mean, there was rumors of Boba Fett, there was rumors of Ahsoka. If Sebastian Stan is Luke Skywalker, it is the best kept secret in all of Disney Star
Yeah.
Wars, but I feel like it's unlikely. But
Very
regardless, I'm
unlikely.
looking forward to it. Um, Overall, I've really enjoyed this season,
Yeah.
especially seeing the new characters come back. I mean, the old characters come back. It was really, really cool. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to title this episode like, is is the Mando taking his mask off okay or not, or the mask debate or something.
Yeah, we had a
Uh,
bit of a debate there.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
but that was all right.
no, I quite like what they're doing with this season, and I have in fact liked these final few episodes. I think they've kind of gotten better as the season's gone along. It started off quite slow, and then they've made their way along, and it's kind of come into a climax at the end, and it's getting really cool now. And like you said, I didn't even think of Bo-Katan coming back, but there is a high possibility that the Mandalorian will acquire the dark saber, and then I think he
Yeah,
might pass it off to Bo-Katan because it belongs with Bo-Katan in reality.
mm,
And then because to be honest, I don't want to see Din Djarin with the dark saber. I don't want to see that.
yeah. I feel like he's not
Yeah,
qualified.
the thing that makes Din Djarin so cool is that he's kind of this Western gunslinger
Yeah, he's
who
like a cowboy.
who has his pistol and his staff. That's cool. I want them to stay with that. I don't want to see him with a dark saber because we've seen so many lightsabers in Star Wars media. I want this gunslinger Western. I want them to stick with this. It's different
Yeah,
and I like it.
yeah. Give him his jetpack. That's the most Star Warsy you can get with it. I think. Give
Yeah,
him a jetpack, and just let him rock his pistol.
yeah,
But yeah, so looking forward to that episode. We'll be giving our thoughts after that. But no, it's been a good chat. I've enjoyed it.
yeah.
I look forward to coming on and talking about the final season with our reaction, or the
Definitely.
final episode of the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll see you all then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
See ya.